Let's speak to the editor-in-chief of the Middle East Eye, David Hearst, who's with me in the studio. And you saw Jamal Khashoggi very shortly before he disappeared. Tell us about that.
Well, it was at a conference in London. It was about Jerusalem. It was about Palestine. Jamal was his cheerful self. We talked about his plans to set himself up in Washington as a Washington Post columnist. He was also going to start a think tank in Washington. He wasn't particularly concerned about his safety.
So he had no reason to believe that his life may be in danger?
He gave no indication of it.
So if he has, as the speculation is growing, something has happened to him inside the Saudi consulate, I mean, the speculation is that he may not even be alive. What position are you taking?
Well, as we both know, there's no physical evidence.
Right.
It is just his disappearance. His fiancée was outside most of the time. There are cameras which are controlled by the Saudis inside the compound. There are cameras which are controlled by the Turks outside. What the cameras outside say is that they saw him go in and they didn't see anyone come out. And the Turks are putting a lot of emphasis on these two plane loads of officials. 4 of them were policemen. The Turks have got their names, who arrived at the consulate and then disappeared very soon afterwards and flew out with their diplomatic bags. They are certain that Jamal did not come out of the embassy or walk out of the embassy or get into a car of their own volition. And that's the Saudi story. Now, the Saudi story originally was that they had footage of him leaving the compound. When they invited Reuters in, and Reuters asked for this footage, noticing all the cameras over the way, they were told the cameras didn't work. So already the Saudis have changed their line in a significant way. I think what's happening is that there is a proper criminal investigation by the Turkish authorities. They're allowing that criminal investigation to take place. They've got a forensic team ready to go in. If the Saudis allow them to go in, the forensics are very confident that they will find something incriminating once they're there. It
does seem incredible that if the Saudis had a hand in this, that they would feel that they could act with impunity on foreign soil. But Jamal was a vocal critic of the establishment in Saudi Arabia, wasn't he?
Well, that's the interesting thing. Jamal never liked the label dissident. He regarded himself as a loyalist. He was an inside man. He helped previous kings and he helped previous monarchies. He was very close at one point to the security minister. He was an aide-de-camp to an ambassador in Washington and in London. And he felt himself, he was a loyal Saudi. He had fallen out with this king and his son over his comments about Trump. But he was not a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. In fact, he was critical of them. He supported the war initially in Yemen. He believed in capital punishment. There were lots of ways in which Jamal was his own man. He was an independent voice, and I think that's what they feared.
So if Turkey comes up with evidence to suggest that something did happen to Jamal Khashoggi, I mean, this becomes not a Turkey problem. This is an international issue, isn't it, if there is a country carrying out assassinations on foreign soil?
Well, it's happened before. And there's certainly been renditions of princes. It happened in Geneva, in Paris, in the Lebanon. So they've done this before to their nationals, and they've done this to princes, and so they're now doing this to a commoner. It depends how governments react. It particularly depends how the Trump administration reacts and whether they will take the easy route and sit on the sidelines and say, oh, we don't really know what happened. It's all mysterious. They're conflicting accounts. And I think the Saudi tactic will be to muddy the waters as much as possible. The Turks will seek international clarity about this.
David, good to speak with you as ever. Thank you very much indeed for that. David Hearst there.